Peter, do we have you?
Well, I can hear you beautifully. I have absolutely no idea if you can see or hear me.
Yes, we can. We can. We can see half of you.
You can see half
there,
of
now
me.
we go. There we go. Now we can see all of you, Peter. Darn close, anyway. How you doing?
You know what? There's nothing I love more than technical things, as you know, through all these years.
It's my forte as well, Peter.
Yeah, it's an absolute beautiful thing. Well, you know what? I think it's sunny here in Arizona. I'm a little foggy this morning, but outside of that, I see that you got two great people right beside you, which makes me think of some of the happiest hockey people memories I could ever have. So it's a good way to start my day. And the host isn't bad either. He's okay.
Okay. On the Prairie Mobile text line, it's been lighting up here. We're having an interesting debate. There is no right or wrong answer, so you can't go wrong no matter how you answer the question. I think I know what you're going to give me for an answer, but I'd be curious to get your thoughts, Peter. Is it worth the price when you have a really good team, but you think you might need an extra piece or two or three to put you over the hump to legitimately give yourself a chance to win a championship, but you know that you have to trade young players, all-star caliber future players, first and second round picks, and there's going to be a huge price to be paid down the road. Are you making that call, Peter? Are you going for it, or are you going to hold back and say, you know what, it's just not worth it for all of the grief and all of the losing that's going to come in the next 4 or 5 years? Sorry. Where do you sit on this?
Well, Kel, we've had this conversation a number of times, and I don't think there's really an easy answer, because of the fact of the matter is, I think the marketplace that you're in makes a big difference. My philosophy really is this. You try to build around two age groups the best that you possibly can, and give yourself an opportunity to try to win a championship. Now, does that work for everybody? Is that what everybody wants? Maybe not. But in sports, I've only cared really about one thing: winning, and giving my team, if I was ever, or if I'm ever in that position, an opportunity to win. But you have to do it the right way. And I think if you put it together the right way, and it's so difficult, which is what people don't understand, how difficult it is, especially, at the junior level, where you're dealing with it's cyclical. You're dealing with very young people. It can be difficult, even if you draft incredibly well. Now, are they going to come to your marketplace? So there is no real easy answer. I'd like to give you one, but, I grew up in Saskatoon. One of the reasons I'm on this show, one of the reasons I love junior hockey so much, has a lot to do, in part, with my love affair as a young person with the Saskatoon Blades. Have the Saskatoon Blades ever won the Western Hockey League Championship since its infancy? The answer is no.
No.
It's no. Have the Regina Pats won a championship since the year 1980? Now, were they incredibly close? And I just heard Al talk about the Memorial Cup. Well, the Pats did a terrific job hosting the 100th MasterCard Memorial Cup, which it was at that particular time. But in many ways, I think it cost John Paddock and company potentially the 2017 title, because they were caught in the middle. They were trying to be the best they could in what was an incredible year in 2017. And I guarantee you they might not move a couple of their older guys that they ended up missing, I think, especially as that playoff went on and in the series against a heavy Seattle team. So it's incredibly difficult to win. It's hard to build teams. And I think it's more difficult now in many ways because people scout so well, they evaluate, everybody is all in. There's so many good organizations. And the other thing is, here's what else you need. You need some good fortune too.
Well, Peter, I agree with you 100%. And probably getting to your point, I would agree that, having to host the Memorial Cup to me is a biggest issue at all, because as soon as you're the host team, you're named the year before, now all the pressure's on you. And if you're not all of a sudden, if you lose 2 games in October, you're already saying, oh, they're going to take Memorial Cup away from this team because they're not good enough. I mean, there's so much pressure throughout a whole season to put it on a team. I'm not sure which having this host team is the best for these hockey clubs either, especially for long term after.
Well, Al, as you know, it's been around for a long time, and Kelly and I have had this conversation a million times. And the fact of the matter is, the host team is there for business. We're at a time in junior hockey, to be frank, on a national level, sometimes, even in your own communities, where it seems to be as difficult to sell as it ever has been with the amount of hockey on television, TVs, and the way that they're made. And, the kids of today, I don't think have the same kind of investment sometimes in the product that, when I grew up, when Kelly grew up, even when Jared grew up. I mean, it's a very, very different time. So business really, really matters. And in so many ways, the product, it has changed. The people who play the product has changed. But I can tell you this, and gentlemen, we all watched it in the last couple of years. When this product is really good, it's hard to beat. It really is. When I go back to that series, Seattle-Regina a couple of years ago, I mean, that was just a fabulous 6-game, game 6 to overtime. There's been a lot of great series in recent times, but junior hockey is going through a very interesting scenario. I mean, you take a look at television and your opportunity to watch the Western Hockey League on television. Well, when things went awry with Shaw Television, the Western Hockey League hasn't been in a position yet to have a new TV contract, and with that TV situation, they've lost 50 to 60 games during the season to have people watch their product. It's a difficult time, but this is also where you need to keep digging in and doing your best, and sometimes doing it a little bit different.
Peter, you've had a couple of epic rants on recent radio in cities like Calgary and Vancouver. I'm hoping I get a quarter or a half of how much
Quarter?
of how you feel. So today, Peter, there's another shoe is dropped with the Dallas Stars. So Jim Montgomery fired. Apparently, Peter, his conduct wasn't in line with the organization's standards.
Right.
When is this going to end? Like, is there a finish line to this? Are people that made mistakes 10 and 15 years ago now, is every single one of these guys walking on eggshells saying that, if an Akeem Alou type comes out of the woodwork and says, he was mean to me 10 years ago, you're out of a job? Like, I don't know. Take it away, Lou.
Well, I'm going to try my best. I'll be honest, the last couple of weeks, at times I've been heartbroken. Sports, hockey in particular, has given me more than I could ever give it. It's been a lifesaver. It's helped me through some incredibly difficult times. As the 3 people that are sitting in the room that you're in, who I care about deeply, who I made relationships with and long-lasting relationships through hockey. Sport, I still believe, is a great teacher. It has incredible people in it, and I'm very sad. I'm very sad, but this isn't about hockey for me. This is about society. This is about, in many ways, bridging together different generations, people who have learned differently, people who have more tools. And we live in a bit of frankly, a mob mentality where it is incredibly easy to pile on when it suits many people and suits many people's agenda. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of what's going on in our society. Are there things that you cannot say and do? Yes. I've been on the earth for 54 years, and I have no trouble on this show or any other show saying that I've been through hard stuff, and I've made mistakes. And do I always treat people the best I possibly can in every situation? And even when I try to, is it received the way I want it to be? No. But as a society, one of these days, we better start doing something that we haven't done for a little while. And that is get out of your own bloody shoes and get into somebody else's. And start to think and have a little compassion and empathy. And until you are perfect, and I've yet to meet anybody that's perfect. I like some people. I don't like some people. I wish some people better fortune than others. But apparently, everybody has a big rock in a glass house. Now, if we really want to get to a better place, then we need to have hard conversations, and we better understand as a human race that nobody is perfect. Now, when we start caring and having a little more compassion and empathy for our neighbor, for our friends, for people we don't know, then it's not going to get better. If we would rather pile on and tell everybody that, first of all, we all know how to live their life better than they do, then this is going to continue. But if you want to have some real conversation, then let's dig in. Let's dig in as people, let's dig in as a society, and let's actually show with our actions that we care. Because I'm not seeing enough caring. And I'm seeing a lot of piling on, and I'm seeing some piling on from places that people have, trust me, no reason to start with the megaphone in some rally. Let's be real.
Can't stand Peter. I got my mic in front of me, but good.
Peter, the
After-
board.
Listen,
The
I'm
board.
just going to add one quick thing, okay? Because this is really important. I had an incredible conversation with Theron Fleury last week.
Oof.
An incredible conversation. And we don't ever want to be in the places, most of us, that he has been. It's a battle. It's an unfair battle. He fights it every single day. And in my conversation, a podcast I did with him last week, if that person can have compassion and empathy coming from where he has come from and what he has endured and dealt with,
No kidding.
then I think we could all have a little compassion and empathy for others, can't we?
I'm not going to read the names, Peter, but I'm looking at the board. Preach on, Lou. Love it. Great rant, Lou. Well said, my man. Lou is 100% correct. A bunch of thumbs up. What a straight shooter Lou is. Love it. Man, and that's boards scrolled through about 6 times. I have been on this show now for over a year. I have never seen the board light up like that. You know, everything that you are saying is striking such a chord with people. I don't know what else I can say, Peter. That was fantastic. And social media, like, let's be honest. Twitter is turned into just a mean and nasty place. Social media it was probably intended for people to share opinions and share stories, and there's some good stuff on there, like the dog that rescues the guy from the lake. There. But there's just so much crap on there. I gotta turn it off sometimes and just walk away from it for a while because I just can't take it.
Well, listen, whether it was Facebook, whether it was Twitter, there's all a lot of good. But again, we need to check human spirit at the door and get to a better place. And listen, do I think social media puts pressure on people? I do. Do I think every day when we take a look sometimes at what house someone has or what trip they're going on or what they're doing, do I think that puts some internal pressure on humans? I do. But I'm really lucky. I have some incredible people in my life who challenge me every single day to try to be better and to think better. And the person that I love so much has one great line, and she has a few. And she says, for humans, what's enough? What's enough? And do I have to ask myself that question every day? Yes. What's enough? But I know this. sport, the human spirit can be so beautiful. What people have the strength to deal with. When I was at the rink a few weeks ago and you see young people under the age of 13 who are battling and dealing with cancer, and you think about those families. My father-in-law is battling cancer. We've all been touched. We've all lost people. Adrian Secundiak of the Estevan Bruins back in the day, all-time Bruins leading scorer, battling terminal brain cancer. Now again, it's easy to say, okay, think about those situations, but it's not always easy to do that in our pressure-filled everyday life. But again, if you're going to ask hard questions, you better be prepared for hard answers. And I'm just a little tired of people using some of those forums to tell the world how smart they are and how perfect they are. Because you know what? You're not.
Agreed.
I'm not. Nobody in that room is. Clark isn't. Nobody is.
He's yelling in my ear. Tell Lou that's not true. He said he's the only one that's perfect. But hey,
Well, if he was perfect, my pay for this show would be a little more. But that's okay.
All of ours would be, Lou. We're volunteers for crying out loud.
But we're all volunteers, and you know why we do it?
Because we love it.
Reason. Because we love it, and we love the people that we go on with a lot of the time, and I love being on this show for one reason. It's about one thing. Everything's about one thing. People. People.
Right.
Let's love people.
Peter, we love your passion that you bring to this show. It's just awesome. I can't wait to see you again. Hopefully shortly after the new year. Can I say, epic rant, great stuff. Thanks for coming on, Lou.
Thanks.
Peter,
Thanks.
enjoy the
Merry
desert.
Christmas, everybody. Love you guys, and all the best to everybody. And, as the great J.R. Foley would say, for a change, let's get back to letting the good times roll. Bye, guys.
A second Stampede Wrestling reference today.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.